What's up, everybody? It's your boy Two Phones. My bad, I should have did it right. It's your boy Two Phones back again with another informative video. And today, this video is as follows. This is the Moto E5 Plus versus the Moto G7 Power. It's not really a battle video, but I'm here to basically compare and contrast the main differences and the similarities to the devices. Now, I've seen even on some of my previous videos, I talked about G7 Power and what's really the number one factor of getting this phone is the battery life. That's really it, the battery life, right? So I've gotten a lot of comments, and I've seen other people throw videos out that I think were misinforming the viewers and buyers and subscribers that, these phones are the same. It doesn't matter which one you have. They're both going to last the same amount. That's technically half false. That's half falsifying the whole situation in hand when it comes to these two devices. One's from 2018, all right? One has real low specs. One camera doesn't go up to 4K. It doesn't have the latest software capabilities and things in that sort. So this is what I'm here to break down to you guys, almost to the T, all right? And then this really gonna blow your mind. Then you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it now. So, yeah, so the real similarities is that they're both almost like identical in kind of the design. The design language is almost identical. Okay, you got the ports at the bottom, you got the charging ports at the bottom, the headphone jacks at the top, the SIM injections on the same size, the power and volume rockers on the same side, and almost the same screen size, right? But the Moto G7 Power has 6.2 inches and 19:9 aspect ratio, which means you're getting more visual, you get more display, you're getting almost more apps on this screen versus the Moto E5 Plus. When you see all that bezel, you see more bezel on this one versus the G7 Power, and it's only because practically, yeah, the notch is there. And yeah, if the bar was all the way across, it would almost be identical, but you can really tell the difference. Like there's a bigger chin on the E5 Plus. There's a little less smaller chin on the G7 Power, but the fingerprints on the back are pretty much in the same place, right? And the E5 Plus has an extra lens. I think the ISO section of the lens, while this one has a single lens. Okay, they both have flash, and this one doesn't have flash in the front, which is very odd that the G7 Power doesn't have flash in the front while the E5 Plus has flash in the front. Now, besides the point of this design, of course, they both come with 3 gigs of RAM, of memory, 32 gigabytes of onboard storage, but you can expand with an SD card up to 512 gigabytes on the Moto G7 Power, whereas you can only go up to 256 on the Moto E5 Plus. And another thing is that this Moto E5 Plus camera only goes up to 1080p 30 frames per second, while this camera goes up the rears, while this goes up to 4K 30 frames per second on the Moto G7 Power. And to be honest, that's where the similarities stop. That's and the contrast. Now, the real difference is this is running an Android 9 Pie with March security patch, and I'm pretty sure we might be getting April or even May security patch this month on the G7 Power, which Motorola has been pushing out updates on the G7 line faster than the G6 and E5 line. So keep that in mind if you want a Motorola device and you want to be near up to date as possible. Then you wanted to get the G7 line versus the E series. And I know a lot of people, the reason why they're going with the E series is it's way cheaper, less expensive, and it's really a backup. I mean, who's really using a G7 or E5 as a daily driver, right? Anyways, so yeah, and the cameras, okay, the cameras are day or night. Now, with the E5 Plus, I mean, you're almost when it comes to the layout, you're almost like how the interface looks. It almost looks identical, okay? It almost looks identical with the features up at the top, right? So you're getting all the HDRs, the autofocus, you're getting the manual modes, you're getting the settings and things in that sort. But when you slide over to the right or left, when you swipe, you're getting so many more features on the G7 Power versus the E5 Plus, including 4K 30 frames per second on the G7 Power. Now, if that means anything to you all, if you like shooting 4K videos on a budget, then the G7 Power will be the way to go. And I'm pretty sure there is an APK out there that people are getting to get the latest software for the Motorola camera. But that's besides the point. And also, like I've been talking about on my live streams, the G7 series comes with Google's AR stickers and YouTube Live and time lapse and slow motion, while the E5 Plus is only coming with YouTube Live and slow motion. And also the G7 Power camera modes. You're getting cinematograph, panorama, you're getting spot color, you're getting portrait mode, and you're getting live filter. So how are these phones the same? So here we are. We're talking about how are these phones the same. The cameras are day and night. I mean, sure, you might be getting Google Lens on the E5 Plus, but you're getting so many more features in the camera department on the G7 Power versus the E5 Plus. And let me go into the CPU options again. Like I told you guys, this is how you know what's on your device. Download the CPUZ application. Now, the G7 Power has Snapdragon 632, right? The E5 Plus has Snapdragon 430. That's not a difference? Okay, in performance, this is much snappier. In performance, in a daily use, this is much snappier than the E5 Plus. I even used them side by side. The G7 Power kills the E5 Plus. So I'm not sure what these reviewers are talking about. I'm not sure what people in the comments are saying that they're the same when it comes to processing. When it comes to processing in cameras, software, you're getting all the and the fingerprint features. You can use gestures on the fingerprint on a G7 Power when you can't do nothing on the E5 Plus. So it's, I don't know, guys. You guys let me know. Gaming performance on the G7 Power is much better than the E5 Plus, even though they both got 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs onboard storage, 5,000 milliamp battery. That's where the similarities stop. Now this one has, like I said, the 1.8 gigahertz processor, while the E5 Plus only 1.4. Okay, one's on a 14 nanometer, all right, processing chip. The other one's on a 28 nanometer processing chip. Okay, so one's on a USB. Oh, okay, and then there's another difference. Turbocharging 15-watt USB C port, and this one's on USB B or A, whichever one you want to call it. The old school, all right? The old school USB, basically. The old school USB. So there's a lot of difference. Like I said, with the G7 Power, you're practically getting a pixel-like experience on top of the Motorola, features and, actions on a $200 sub smartphone, where you're not getting that. You're not getting that Google Pixel-like experience on the E5 Plus. It's not even on Android 9. And I think it's still like on, January security patch? So, I don't know. But this is my whole rant when it comes to these two devices being the same There's only like really 3 specs that pop out. Or 4. Okay, they both on 720p. But there's only like really 4 specs that pop out the same. And of course, somewhat the design language. All right, I can kind of get why some people might be like, well, they almost look identical. Well, yeah, that has some truth to it. But even the app drawers are different. Even the app drawer. Now, I left them both stock. All right, I left them both stock. No Nova launchers, nothing on them. All right, I left them both stock like they came off the box. And you can clearly see the difference. So, I don't know, guys. I don't know what these people are saying. And you could get some great deals with the G7 Power on Metro, on Cricket, probably Boost Mobile. Even T-Mobile sells the G7 Power unlocked. So you can get some great deals on this Pixel-like experience without, paying the thousands or hundreds of dollars. And I know the Pixel 3a is out now, so it's really going to be tough competition. But that's besides the point. That's going to be for a whole nother video. And yeah, I just wanted to get this out, get this off my chest. I've been seeing so many really bad comments. I've been seeing so many really odd videos talking about the G7 Power. A lot of people are really hating on this phone. And this phone could last almost a whole week on one charge. Where I'm going to be honest, since this phone is practically a year old, it's not going to last you 2 days. It's not, this phone is not even going to last you 2 whole days. Now, unless you just calling and texting and emailing and surfing the web, maybe browsing, maybe YouTubing just a little bit. But if you want that full-fledged performance, efficiency, including Google's digital well-being and Google's AR cards, AR stickers, and YouTube Live and all those cool features from a camera without breaking a bank in 2019, as far as under $300, $200 price range, the G7 Power would be the way to go. And it got all the bands on T-Mobile, where I don't think the unlocked E5 Plus has all the bands on T-Mobile. I know I keep talking about that in every video now, but I don't know. I'm starting to like T-Mobile more. But anyways, this is better. This is so much better than the E5 Plus. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. The G7 Power is so much better than the Moto E5 Plus. And I would definitely recommend you all to trade in E5 Plus for the G7 Power. You won't regret that trade-in. I'm telling you, you won't regret that trade-in. Once again, check out your local Best Buys. Check out Metro, Boost, Cricket. Check the stores out, man, because there's some hot deals going on. And even more hot deals are on the way, even with the Pixel 3a. So, man, it's really going to be tough, man. But I still pick the G7 Power today over the E5 Plus. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Which one would you choose and why? And why did you all think the E5 Plus was the same as the Moto G7 Power?